Privacy, I don't see it in the Constitution. But you know what? It is in there. Because in the Ninth Amendment it says, those rights not listed are not to be disparaged. The thing is that the Bill of Rights is not a complete listing of your rights. In fact, they worried about this. As they were compiling the Bill of Rights, Madison and others at first, we don't really need the Bill of Rights, because who could conceivably ever, think that there could be a law preventing the right to publish things, or to say things, or to associate with the people you want to associate with? They thought maybe it'd be too limiting to list them. So then somebody said, we'll add the 9th and 10th Amendment. But these are incredibly important amendments, but we've lost them. The 9th Amendment is a big deal. Your rights are unlimited. They're either naturally given to you, or as many of us believe they come from God. But the thing is, they're yours, and no government can take them away from you. And that gets to the next question, and I love the questions from the media today. We had the radio and newspaper here, and one of the questions was, do you think we're a republic or a democracy? And I told him that's the question I ask every school kid, every elementary school, junior high, or high school comes to Washington. I have my 5 minutes with them. I say, what are we, a republic or a democracy? And why is it important? We're not a democracy. Our founding fathers didn't want a democracy. Our founding fathers didn't want 51% of you to be able to take away the rights from 49% of you. The right to associate is something that some of us think is naturally ours. The right to associate with who we want to say what we want, to believe what we want, to congregate where we want. That is something that 51% of the people can't take away from us. And when we let our guard down, several times in our history, but one of the times when we let our guard down is when we allowed the Jim Crow laws that occurred in the South. Because we didn't believe that everyone naturally had these rights. We thought, well, the majority of people want these things. And people confuse states' rights with this idea of democracy, that states could do anything to take away, stop the Patriot Act. He came up to me and he said, what if it expired at midnight? What would we do? And I said, well, couldn't we live with the Constitution for just a few hours? People say, well, but how do we catch rapists? How do we catch murderers? How do we catch bad people in our country since the beginning of the Republic? You get a warrant. You call a judge. If there's a rapist in Fairfield in their house, and you're not sure they're in there, but you want to go into their house and you're the police, you stand on the front steps and you call the judge at 3 in the morning. And you almost always get a yes, because most of us want to allow the police to do that. But the reason you have the checks and balances, the reason the police call the judge, is because there were times in our history when people entered bias into their decision, when they said, let's go into a black person's house, let's go into a gay person. At this moment, all you have to do is send a text message.
Thank you, Senator Paul.
Thank you.
My son will take it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Paul.
Do you know yet if you'll, when
and heart disease and death and stroke as patients who practice this form of meditation. And that's not been found with hypnosis or other forms of relaxation.
Right.
So what Emerson and Thoreau were talking about, this transcendental state, is a kind of unique thing, but not everything produces it. But this transcending kind of meditation produces that, and then you can see the physiological effects. Blood pressure reduction is the same as with drugs, and then these reductions in death and heart attack.
A lot cheaper, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are.
in intensive care units response, and
Yeah.
they can calm some of that down.
Sure, we need to take care of the mind-body connection, and we've gotten that in modern medicine. And more effectively we can do that, the better we can help this country's healthcare system. I hope you'll support the idea of integrating these natural medicine methods into the healthcare system.
Well, most of it really should be about just having the freedom to do it. You know, it shouldn't be the federal government telling you anything about how you do it. If the government will leave you alone, then, you know, people will choose varieties of.
You know, I really appreciate you're coming out in favor of, I think, Well, you said something about choice in vaccines and vaccinations, and then, of course, there's the whole pro-vaccination movement kind of jumped on you right away, blasted you. But that's really important. I think about half of the students here at Maharishi School, K through 12, are not vaccinated because their parents, feel strongly about it. And I think it's real. And but the state and the Des Moines Register and the state was going to try to come down and try to, mandate that everyone has to do this. And,
Nothing. France that said the percentages are so
good, but I mean, it's just.
We chose to delay some of ours. We ended up getting them because we can only fight so much, and our kids were in public schools, so we did it. But I think there ought to be freedom up to the states and to the people to make these decisions. And if you have a child that has profound autism, and you relate it temporally to the vaccines, and you don't want to give a vaccine, that should be your right.
Right.
The rightness or the wrongness of the facts that's what everybody else gets to figure out.
Rand, on
another topic.
Hey, thanks, Roger.
I think.
Couldn't get it. Thanks.
One more? Yes, sir. Back
very
up
nice.
We can do it probably. Everybody together or not?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, maybe in a minute.
So, Rand, have you considered Jeff Shipley for vice president yet?
No. Thanks, Roger.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Rand,
Would you say something about David Bullard? I live in town here. Would you say something about your feelings about the TPP? Because
agreement, and I also don't know exactly what everything means. So we're going to meet with the trade representative. We want to know more information, but everybody should get more information.
that's
if I could ask one thing, because in the House resolution they have House Resolution 14 to release the 28 pages that class.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do that on the set. So.
They did not investigate Ace Elevator Company. It was in their shafts for 1994.
I'm not hearing you.
Oh, Ace Elevator Company was working in elevator shafts from 1994 to 2011, and they were never investigated, not even mentioned in the whole report.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about that.
That wasn't a place to.
If you send me some information on that, I can get that to both Senator Paul and his
Well, if I
staff.
could just say one thing, the security company, Securicom, was not even mentioned at the 9/11 Commission board. The security guards, not even mentioned. And the LVI systems that was removing asbestos from the World Trade Center. Those towers had to come down anyway. Illegal asbestos. And why would Larry Silverstein release a building for 99 years that had asbestos in it?
Well, I think what I had heard about the asbestos is it was legal up to 1970, and I heard they built the 2/3 of the elevator shafts asbestos and the remaining third not. But actually, where the planes hit was above the asbestos, and that may have been why the elevator shafts were hurt. How are we doing?
Yeah, we got to keep investigating.
What's that?
That they should investigate Ace Elevator. Boeing has. So they're all.
You'll send us information on it. Let me know. We'll take a look at it. So I think this year
it's a very progressive position, actually.
Yes, I mean, hey, before we go, I just want to tell you, Doug is our #1 volunteer.
Will you hook him up with Ron and get them talking about data?
Thank you for that.
Thank you.